Okay, hello and welcome to another episode of the Firepreneurship Show. Thank you so much for joining us. In this episode, we will be talking about streamlining your workflow when it comes to content marketing and business management as a whole. To start off, we'll talk about some brainstorming strategies, one that Dana has used over the years and has proven very effective for him and Turf Plus. And then after that, we will go over some 5 whys exercises to kind of illustrate that point that the blog talks about. And then from there, we will go over the evergreen concept and how you can apply that to both your content marketing and your business as a whole. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Ready, aim, fire. As we mentioned in the intro, Dana has a strategy that he uses for brainstorming when it comes to coming up with different material for his business to help educate their customers. And Dad, why don't you go ahead and talk about that?
At the end of each year, you can do it more frequently, but this is something that we've done on a very regular basis. We give each of our employees a piece of paper and have them write down 100 questions. And we let them know that if they're not writing, that they're doing it wrong, that this is brainstorming and not something that you think about in order to make sure you have good questions. You just write anything that comes to your mind, whether it's humorous or serious, whether you think it's a great question or whether you think it's dumb. You write down everything that comes to your mind, and then when you're done with the 100 questions, you go back and you circle 1 or 2 that you think are good, and you read through them and choose 1 or 2. Then as a group, we go around and we talk about a question from each one, and then we go to the second question, and then we actually have them do a third and a fourth, and then we discuss those. It's amazing the ideas that they have come up with. As a manager, a lot of times you think that you have to come up with all the answers, but that's not true at all. You have so much experience working with you that you can tap into, and just great minds. We have changed many things at Turf Plus because of the employee, much more than we've ever changed because of myself. I mean, I'm always trying to tweak things, trying to change things to improve them for the better, but there's just no way I can keep up with everyone else's experience and their creativity and their understanding and wisdom. So it's a great process. I recommend it highly to really tap into the experience and the abilities of those around you.
I think it's a very viable way of doing things. 100 questions can seem like a lot. It is a lot, but it really forces you to think, to really dive deep into the brainstorming process, and also having those different perspectives. If you have employees, then include them. If not, then include the spouse or a parent or whoever, close friend, and have them help you come up with 100 questions. So each person coming up with 100 questions, and that way you'll have more perspective and be able to find your best ideas using this strategy. So I really think that's a great strategy. Thank you for that. And speaking of ways to like really dive deep into things, this brings up the next concept of the 5 whys. If you're able to ask yourself why like 5 times, you're gonna really get into a really deep why of something. And so we'll go over a couple of exercises, one for Dana's business and one for firepreneurship.com. and kind of illustrate the point of why you want to ask yourself why as many times as possible. So let's go ahead and start with Turf Plus. Turf Plus's audience or target market wants their lawns green and weed free. So I'll go ahead and ask the first why there. Why, Dad, do they want their lawns green and weed free?
Yeah, there are definitely lots of reasons why customers want to have a green lawn, and they want their neighbors to be proud of their neighborhood. They want a good relationship with their neighbors. They want to be able to play in their backyard with their kids and know that their kids have a beautiful, fun place to play, build wonderful memories of their childhood, and wonderful, strengthen their family and bring them close to each other.
Okay, so the next question is why do people want to spend time in their yard, and why do they worry so much about their neighbors and what they think?
I think people love to spend time in their yard because it's therapeutic. They enjoy a beautiful yard. They enjoy working in it. They enjoy the satisfaction of doing it together as a family a lot of times. And they want their neighbors to be proud of their neighborhood, and they're hoping that their neighbors will reciprocate and do the same thing and take care of their yards so that the property values will continue to increase. So it'll have good curb appeal.
Okay, and why would people want to improve their property value?
There are many reasons why people want their property values to go up. One of them is definitely when they're ready to retire. They may want to move into a different community and be able to sell their home and have a good retirement, or they may want to travel, or they have the satisfaction of knowing that they could sell at this time and that they would be able to get a good return on their investment, their home, and know that their property value continues to go up and that they will be able to sell it at a later date when they need to. As you go through the why, sometimes you feel like, wow, the answer to this is extremely obvious, but it really does help to uncover or solidify in your mind the core reasons why people take your service, so that you know how to serve all your customers generally. And then as you speak to each one, you know what specifically or in differentially what's important to that particular customer, so that you know how to what extra thing to do in order to make that customer happy. The whys really do help you come to know your customers so that you can really hone in on the ways to make them happy. And that really is the core of being able to run a successful business and feel like you're accomplishing something and make good money.
Yeah, exactly. You don't necessarily need to ask five whys. If you come short of that, then that's fine. But yeah, the purpose of the exercise, like you mentioned, Dad, um, is to make it so that you can think deeper. And like you mentioned as well, a lot of questions might be like well, duh, like why do people want their property values to go up? That's a silly question, right? But it's a good thought exercise to really dive in deeper as to why people would want their lawns taken care of, and like what kind of value can you provide to your customers. Let's go ahead and now you ask me the whys, Dad. So firepreneurship.com is all about productivity, and so let's talk about that.
Why are firepreneurship customers interested in productivity? What are they looking for when they search you out?
Well, the concept of FIRE is financial independence, retire early, and firepreneurship is about doing that through entrepreneurship. People want to up their productivity in that because life can get busy, and it can be challenging, especially if you have another job that you're working, and your business is your side hustle. You want to be able to streamline that as much as possible so that you can have more time to do what you want, whether that be spending time with family or whoever else, or working on another project. It's just freeing up that time so that you're able to have that freedom to break away from work and not be tied to work.
Why else do people want to leave their job and make their side hustle the main way they make a living?
A lot of people could be working their day job, their 9 to 5, as a way to make ends meet, to have some kind of income, and their side hustle is what they actually enjoy doing, what they love doing, and so they want to have that extra time to be able to focus on that and grow their business and focus on what they love doing.
Why is it important for them to be efficient or productive in their side hustle?
That way, they are able to increase their income. They can work on other things to increase value for their customers, or find other ways to reach their customers, and be able to increase that income so that they can get away from their 9 to 5 job and work on their side hustle full time, working on those tasks that they feel like would be key to their growth as an entrepreneur, and for the now full-time hustle. And then kind of moving past that, they want to become firepreneurs, which is the ability to not have to work on your business full time, rather be able to step away and do other things with your time, and that freedom, that use of the time is up to each individual person. Aside from doing those things that you want to do with your time, there's also that feeling of peace, of knowing like my finances are in good shape, and I don't have to be working super hard to make that happen. So that sense of peace, that peace of mind, is also a really good reason for people to want to achieve that.
What are the reasons why people choose a particular side hustle? Do they change side hustles after they've worked on them for a while? What are other reasons why people would choose a particular side hustle?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with interest and passion. What is it that the individual entrepreneur is interested in? Like, for example, I love business, and so I went into firepreneurship, which is all about business. There are people that are interested in art, so they sell art as their side hustle. There are a bunch of different things that people might be interested in. An even bigger influence would be demand, the market demand. If they want to do something local, what is it that your specific area is in need of? If you're wanting to do something online, again, what is the specific need that's not being filled online? So, yeah, what are you interested in, and what needs to be offered? And that, as far as like changing along the way, people might lose interest in their side hustle, and so they want to start another one, or they want to be serial entrepreneurs and start other ones because of that. They want all of those running, or be able to sell those businesses. And also, there are times when they discover that the business wasn't working out anyways. So, like the market didn't really go for it, and so they have to try something else. So those would be some reasons as to why they would change side hustles.
What is it that people need help with in a side hustle? What are some of the problems that they what come across as they try to make their side hustle successful?
So just like running a business as a whole, there's a lot of hats to wear. There's a lot to do, especially focusing on content marketing. There are a lot of balls to juggle. There's a lot of moving parts. And so having multiple hands on it, or being able to simplify and eliminate things and automate them and delegate them to those extra hands really takes a load off to people, for people. And yeah, those are like the biggest reasons, is helping with the overwhelm, to keep up the passion and the drive to be successful.
Yeah, asking why continually over and over again really helps you come to understand your audience and what your business is all about, what they're truly seeking, and ways that you can give them value for their money.
Yeah, something I noticed as I was answering your questions is like at the beginning, I was answering your questions, but they weren't like really too thought out of answers. But like as we kept going deeper and deeper, it forced me to think about the answer even more, and so the answer became more and more thought out, and I feel like even more clearer whys came out as the exercise went along. I don't know if you noticed the same thing when I was asking you questions.
It reminds me also of the brainstorming exercise that we do. A lot of times they don't come up with the good questions in the first couple of questions that they write down. Sometimes they do, but a lot of times it's the 20th or the 50th or the 90th question that they ask where some real depth comes in, and they really find something that really hits the nail on the head and gives us an opportunity to make a change in the business that really affects the customer for good, that really gives them greater value, more of what they're looking for.
Okay, another concept that the blog article talks about is using evergreen content, and I'll just talk a little bit about that with content marketing. So if you have evergreen content, then every once in a while you can go back and revise it, make sure it's still relevant and builds value for your audience. But if it's not something that isn't evergreen, then you'll have to go back and revise it multiple times. Like if it's a news story or something that's always changing, so you have to go back and fix it. And so it's a lot of extra work that you're putting into your content marketing. So if you focus on evergreen content, then that will really help you with your with streamlining your workload and helping you with that. Utilizing the evergreen concept is important, especially because you don't want to be reinventing the wheel, like you were talking about, Dad. With training your customers or your employees, you don't want to have to start from nothing to train them, especially when the same questions are coming up. You want to be able to streamline that and save yourself some time. All right, and to end the episode, I just wanted to point out in the conclusion of the blog post, it says efficiency in content marketing is not just about doing more, it's about doing the right things effectively. So let's go ahead and switch out content marketing with business management. Efficiency in business management is not just about doing more, it's about doing the right things effectively. So I just really wanted to illustrate that point and really drive that point home, because it is important for us to not put too much on our plate and to really focus on what's important and getting those things done correctly and in an efficient manner. Our next episode will be all about cutting out the clutter, and so I think that concept is really important. When we need to cut out that clutter to make sure that we're focusing on what's important. but more about that in the next episode. So thank you so much for listening to this episode and or watching, whatever the case may be. And don't forget to reach out to us if you have any questions or comments. We'd love to hear from you, love to have you as a part of the conversation. If you want to be featured in an episode of the podcast, you can send us an email and title the email Podcast Voicemail, and send us a recording, and we may feature you in the podcast. You never know. Thanks, Dad, for your time, and we'll see y'all next time. Our mission at firepreneurship.com is to help people like you achieve FIRE, financial independence, retire early, through entrepreneurship. We offer educational materials like this podcast, but most of all, we offer outsourcing services to help you automate the business you started to bring you financial independence, so you can focus on what you love the most about running your business, or if you want, step away from your autonomous business altogether and retire early. Thank you for listening to this edition of the Firepreneurship Show. To show our appreciation, we've created a page full of helpful resources for you and your business. To access it, visit firepreneurship.com/resources. Again, that's firepreneurship.com/resources. It's time we signed our own Declaration of Financial Independence.